Right now, someone your age is in a loud club, drinks, noise, temporary validation, and right now, someone else is alone in a quiet room, building a future that will make noise for decades. The scary part, in 5 years, you'll be able to tell exactly which one you were. Tonight, I want to rewire the way you see loneliness because what most people call being alone, SBB, is actually a competitive advantage. And if you're between 20 and 30 years old, this might be the most important message you ever hear. Let's get something straight. Loneliness is painful only when you believe you're falling behind. When you scroll and see people laughing, traveling, partying, you assume they're living and you're stuck. But what if you're not stuck? What if you're staging a breakout? What if this season of silence isn't social failure, but strategic positioning? Your 20s are not designed for comfort. They are designed for construction. This is blueprint season. Most people misunderstand this decade. They treat it like extended adolescence, endless weekends, endless distractions, endless, I'll figure it out later. But momentum doesn't start later. It starts in the quiet. While others chase moments, you build momentum. Moments feel good. Momentum changes your life. Every Friday night, you choose silence over noise. You gain an edge. Every weekend, you choose skill over status. You widen the gap. Every early morning, while others recover from the night before, you recover your future. You are stacking invisible bricks. No one sees them. No one applauds them. No one validates them. But invisible bricks build visible empires. The physique, the discipline, the confidence, the financial freedom. Those are not accidents. They are accumulated, quiet decisions. Now, here's the part nobody warns you about. Silence will expose you. When there's no music, no notifications, no conversations, there's nowhere to hide. You meet your procrastination. You meet your insecurities. You meet the voice that says, this is pointless. And that confrontation, that's the forge. Noise distracts you from weakness. Silence forces you to confront it. No distractions, no applause, no dopamine spikes every 10 seconds. Just you, your thoughts, your potential, your limits. And that is why solitude is powerful. Because in silence, you can rebuild yourself without performance. Here's what most people never understand about success. It's built in rooms nobody sees, the workout when nobody claps, the coding session when nobody checks in, the business idea refined at 1 a.m., the book you finish while others scroll. The world celebrates results, the promotion, the body, the money, the recognition, but results are born in isolation. You don't become dangerous in public, you become dangerous in private. If you can learn to love that isolation, not tolerate it, not survive it, but use it, you instantly separate yourself from 90% of people your age. Because most people need noise to feel alive. But the disciplined learn to use silence to become unstoppable. And that shift, that's where the advantage begins. Between 20 and 30, you are either compounding growth or compounding regret. There is no neutral. You are not just living. You are building trajectory. This decade is leverage. Leverage means small actions create massive outcomes later. You have energy most 40-year-olds would pay for. You have time most parents would beg for. You have fewer responsibilities than you will ever have again. And that combination, it's rare, but instead of multiplying it, most people dilute it. They scatter their focus. They chase every distraction. They say yes to everything except discipline. They trade long-term power for short-term pleasure. 3 nights out, endless scrolling, random jobs with no skill stacking, comfort over competence. It feels harmless in the moment. But compounding doesn't care about feelings. Now imagine this. While they party 3 nights a week, you train, not sometimes, consistently. While they recover from hangovers, you recover from hard workouts. While they binge shows, you study a high-value skill, sales, coding, marketing, investing, communication. While they spend everything, you learn how to build and multiply money. You invest in your body, you invest in your mind, you invest in your future network. Not perfectly, but relentlessly. Now fast forward 5 years. 5 years doesn't sound long, but 5 years of discipline, that's transformation. The gap is no longer small, it's brutal. One of you has confidence built through discomfort. The other has stories. One of you has options. The other has excuses. One of you walks into rooms with leverage. The other walks in hoping to be chosen. And here's the twist. They'll call you lucky. They won't see the early mornings. They won't see the lonely weekends. They won't see the sacrifices. They'll see the result. And they'll label it luck because that protects their ego. But you'll know the truth. Luck is just discipline observed too late. The 20 to 30 window is not about being extreme. It's about being intentional. You don't have to disappear from the world. You just can't disappear from your potential. Because this decade sets the baseline for everything that follows: your standards, your income trajectory, your physical condition, your identity. You're either compounding growth or compounding regret. Choose carefully, because time will multiply whatever you feed it. So how do you actually turn solitude into strength? Because let's be honest, being alone without a plan is torture. Being alone with a mission, that's power. First, create a mission bigger than your mood. Loneliness hurts when you have no direction. When you don't know where you're going, every quiet evening feels like rejection. Every empty weekend feels like failure. But when you have a target, silence becomes strategy. When you wake up with a clear objective, build a strong body, launch a business, master a skill, reach financial independence, your emotions become secondary. You don't ask, do I feel like it? You ask, does this move me forward? A mission reorganizes your life. It filters distractions. It gives meaning to sacrifice. It transforms isolation into preparation. Without a mission, you feel alone. With a mission, you feel focused. Second, replace noise with skill acquisition. You cannot remove distraction and leave a vacuum. If you quit partying but replace it with scrolling for 4 hours, you've changed nothing. No random scrolling. No endless entertainment. No passive consumption. Choose one thing, not 10. 1. Fitness, coding, sales, investing, writing, public speaking, content creation, and go deep. Depth creates advantage. Surface level effort keeps you average. Mastery loves quiet environments because mastery requires repetition. Repetition requires patience. Patience requires discipline. And discipline grows in silence. Every hour you invest compounds. Skills stack. Confidence grows. Identity shifts. You stop seeing yourself as someone trying. You start seeing yourself as someone becoming. Third, train your mind to detach from validation. This is where most people fail. They can work hard, but only if someone is watching. They can stay disciplined, but only if someone praises them. If you need constant approval, you will always chase crowds. You'll post for likes, you'll train for compliments, you'll choose visibility over growth, but real power is built when nobody claps. Internal confidence is forged when you keep promises to yourself. You say you'll train, you train. You say you'll study, you study. You say you'll build, you build. No audience required. When you detach from validation, you become dangerous because now your behavior isn't controlled by attention. It's controlled by standards. And standards don't fluctuate with loneliness. They operate regardless of who's around. That's how you weaponize solitude. Mission over mood, skill over noise, standards over validation. And once you master that, being alone stops feeling like isolation. It starts feeling like preparation. Picture yourself at 30. Strong body, financial stability, options, freedom, respect. Now picture the alternative. Same mindset, same habits, same circle, same excuses. The difference between those two lives? It's what you do when you're alone. Loneliness is not a punishment, it's preparation. The world doesn't reward who had the most fun at 23. It rewards who built the most discipline. So the next time you feel like you're missing out, ask yourself, am I being left behind or am I pulling ahead? This is iron discipline. And while they party, we build. If you made it to the end, it means you take your growth seriously. And you have my respect for that. Remember, knowledge without action means nothing. Do one thing today that moves you toward a stronger version of yourself. If this video brought you value, leave a like and subscribe to Iron Discipline. We don't build motivation here, we build character. I'll see you in the next video.